A cyber attack is affecting thousands of car dealerships across the country, including here in Hampton Roads.
It's causing a lot of problems for dealers and those buying a car or getting one serviced. But more than that, your personal information could be at risk. 10 Your Side's Ashley Knight has those details. Ashley?
Well, car dealerships use a software called CDK Global. CDK was hacked several days ago, and with every hack comes the possibility that your information could be out for sale on the dark web.
Oh my God. Now, who would have thought the automotive industry just drives me nuts sometimes, because why is it that the automotive industry is always the one that has to get stung, slapped in the face, or beat up before any significant transitions or any significant moves are made? Now, let me tell you the unfortunate situation that 3 dealerships have been in for the last 2 weeks that I've been in communications with, that now we're going to be doing some training for their store. These 3 stores, when CDK Global, when those hackers hit CDK Global, it affected 3 dealerships that had reached out because their sales team they didn't know what to do. They had never been trained on how to do applications on paper. They had not been trained on how to submit deals in the event if the system went down. I mean, it was almost like, it was the craziest thing that I'd ever seen, to walk in there and watch so many people be lost. And guess what? This is just the tip of the iceberg. If you think it's going to stop right here, especially now that these hackers realize that they could potentially get rich from this. And one thing I know a lot of general managers and dealer principals have done, that they told me that this helped their eyes open up to see, you can't be just a one-trick pony. You have to have multiple systems, a backup on a backup on a backup. Another thing they've realized, and this is huge, because ever since that bailout, with COVID bailout and all that money was given out, the FTC, the SEC, they're going to recoup some of that money that went out to all of these people around the country to help in the businesses through COVID. And guess where they went? Guess where their lowest hanging fruit is? The automotive industry. Why? Because it is notoriously negligent. And I love this industry. This is where I made my bones. I mean, I provide for my family. I started off in sales. Now I travel, I train, I work with dealerships all over the country. I love this business. But I'd be lying to you if I was some type of a person out there looking for ways that we could recoup money based on violations. The automotive industry will be where I go to. Why? Stuff as simple as leaving a driver's license on a copier machine. Stuff as simple as a person's personal information being left on the desk. Something as simple as walking into a store where their F&I files are not behind 2 double-locked doors, not in a secured file cabinet. It's just so many things that I've seen that I say, oh my God, these people are in so much trouble if anybody ever walks in. As a matter of fact, one store I know of, I won't say their name, was fined $1.7 million. And they have 90 days to pay the penalty, or they're at risk of losing that store. Because when the FTC or the SEC, and they're doing secret shoppers, when they're sending people in and they see any of these violations, 30,000. So with all of these things going on right now, protecting the data, do you realize that legally your customers' data, your database, should have at least 10 years of protection? Do you know most stores are required to have a data compliance manager? Ask me how many of them in the thousands that I've interacted and done business with over years have I ever been introduced to their compliance manager. Now, I do know there are some who have got the message and are putting things in place, but come on. So now let's think about this cyber hit. It crushed some stores' ability to be able to do sales, manage their sales department, service, maintenance. All of these things crumble. So if you had a store and you know CDK Global was the software that you were using, you better get with your IT team quick to say, okay, this can never happen again. As a matter of fact, let's just say if it does, what's a way that we could transition and shift any information we need to another system, utilizing another software without us having to miss a beat and us negatively impacting the business worth tens of thousands of dollars, which have been lost over the last few weeks. Not to mention the potential civil suits coming if some customer's information that hasn't bought from your store in 8 years, their information has been compromised, all because someone failed to make sure that their database was protected. These things are big. And now with AI, and I think a lot of dealerships, you got these IT folks, dealerships are hiring IT people that really aren't, I've seen it. They don't have college degrees in marketing and, not IT people, marketing people. They get these marketing people that talk a good game and use all these slick words, and then they get in there and they utilize things that could significantly put this dealership at risk, or they got all of these fancy new tech ideas like with AI. Now, what most companies don't realize is AI doesn't create you the great sales process and your people gonna go out there and start knocking down deals. No, it's very specific. It kicks out based on what information it's requested to provide. It'll only kick out information based on what's been fed into it by other users. It doesn't sit there and just in its own computer brain just come up with the master sales script. And guess what? If you're in there using it for that, you think other people aren't in there typing in the same crap. And how do you know if it works or not? Well, how do you test it? Do you test it? Do you tweak it? Are you editing it? Is there any data to back up why someone's telling you that this AI technology responding to people's online inquiries, responding to emails, it has been failing miserably for dealerships. Customers can see through that crap. After all of these years of working hard to make the customer experience more personal, now a lot of dealerships are taking the lazy way, throwing AI in there. It's kicking out some of the worst canned responses. It's not able to bring in horrible results on the sales team. I had one store tell me 2 months ago, we were in talks about putting together training. They said, well, Brian, I got this new sales manager and marketing team, and we're using AI. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, let me know how that works out. Now, the 3 stores that I told you I'm in the works with, that I'm putting together the training programs for them, that was one of them, because it bombed miserably. You've got years of trial and error. Let's say from somebody like myself, other people like Andy Elliott's. There's a ton of good people out there that through the years, through trial and error, not just pie in the sky, have comprised some of the most effective word tracks and steps and processes that are helping people be able to convert customers to clients, right? And now you got this AI system that comes in because this young techie person says, oh, this is the new wave. And it cost one dealership over $250,000 in lost opportunity. And it doesn't have to. Just like this CDK cyber attack is costing dealerships hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue in the service department and in the sales department. So this has taught us anything. It is, if you need to test and make sure, do your sales staff know how to sit down and qualify a customer if they don't have access to whatever software system that you all may be using that's safe enough to put a customer's data in there? Can they do that? Do you have guest sheets at your store, information sheets? Or is this outage or being down giving your salespeople a good reason to say, oh, systems was down, that's why I didn't get that deal? And in our business, man, you can't give salespeople any reason to justify to themselves why they're ineffective or being unable to convert. So guest sheets, information sheets, are those there? If not, you better get them quick. Number 2, is your sales team qualified and skilled enough to go through and actually handwrite and do a credit app with a customer without making them feel creepy and freaked out or hiding behind the computer screen? Can your service advisors be able to help customers without access to that system, whatever it is? And then most importantly, can the people coming into your store feel comfortable that their information is going to be protected? And you might say, well, Brian, I don't hear about other dealerships getting hacked. Do you think you would? Imagine the uproar if it hit the media or the news that a local dealership's database had been breached and that their customers' information had been hacked and now potentially is at risk on the dark web. That would be death to the dealership. So, of course, they don't publicize it. If they get caught up in a situation like that, because they do happen, trust me, if you're in a store in your local area, you may not be familiar with it. I am all over the United States working with every single major dealer group in the country I work with or I am currently doing business with now. And let me tell you, it definitely is happening. Stores have been sued from their customers' information being compromised, but they pay the fine, try to keep it as hush-hush as possible, and move on. One thing that some stores are doing in their local areas, they're getting with companies like Identity Max. That's one company who is very respectable. They have a great program for protecting people's database, helping with the compliance management, identity protection, all of that. But one local store that I know of is literally advertising how they have customers' identity protected, and some other things they have up there. that they're advertising that other stores can't offer. So a customer can feel safe that their information is protected with this particular store. And every customer that buys a vehicle, they're actually giving them, I think it's 3 years of identity protection for them and up to 5 members in their family. So you have to be creative in this. But this CDK global attack is the first of many. And I brought up AI earlier because the next trend is them being able to hack into dealerships through AI, because it too is a software. So if you're using AI, do not be using some cheap open office software at your dealership, because you will get got. It may cost you some money, but invest. It's like training. I mean, obviously, I wish I was batting 100% where every dealership I talk to, as soon as they hear my voice or see me, they just lay down and I got the deal. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I mean, I close 100% of the people that reach out to me for training, which is the way it goes now. You know, people contact me. I don't have to do the prospecting, but there are times where folks ask for a meeting, and we sit down, we do the meeting, and based on what their needs are and what it takes for my company to be able to provide that, they may feel like, you know what, we're okay. We'll do it on our own. We don't want to invest that or spend that money. Perfectly fine. I absolutely get it. It's not for everybody. But guess what? The most embarrassing thing is when 2 or 3 months later, that same general manager who told me that they got it, was going to handle it in-house, literally is on LinkedIn sending me a message asking me, do I know any dealer groups that I could connect him with or her with? It is insane. And it doesn't have to be this way. Look, we all know that the goal is to constantly make our teams get better, to constantly be more profitable. And your dealership, if you're smart, probably already has a hiring and a training process of some kind in play. But if you know your hiring process is you're bringing in one at a time, you're sticking them with somebody, having them do some modules, hoping that they stick. How many deals did they lose? And if you know that the only training you're providing them is the getting certified modules, and then the 30 minutes in the morning, come on. And then you want these people to go out there and hit it hard for you, but you're not showing them any commitment to them. We don't come, my company and myself, we don't come in and replace what you do. What we do is we take it to another level. My job and my team's job is to make sure managers shouldn't be having to spend the whole day off the desk or days off the desk interviewing people. You know what I mean? They also shouldn't have to get people on their sales team coming out that they have to work with that never wanted to be in sales or be in this business anyway, but just was looking for a job just to get a paycheck until they get that call from the Amazon warehouse. They shouldn't have to deal with that. The management team should be getting people who are at least educated on the foundations or the fundamentals of the road to the sale, how to qualify a person, how to do a decent walk around in the beginning, and then how to perfect it and do a dynamic one. How to be able to help a customer bridge the gap between what it is they need and being comfortable enough to make that decision and move forward. These are skills. There's no such thing as a naturally born salesperson. They are made. Now, we may have certain characteristics about ourselves that make it easier for us in the sales industry or sales profession, but come on. And so, yes, am I making a plea to any general manager or dealer principal out there? I absolutely am, because I do love this industry, and it's got so much potential. I've seen this business turn around so many people's lives. Where else can you go there without a college degree? Just a high school diploma, maybe a GED, if that, in some instances, and literally make $100,000, $150,000. Hell, let's back it on back. 70 for some people, that would be like making $150,000. It's here, and it's always going to be here. But we have to do what we can to make sure we protect it. So how do we protect it? Make sure we protect our customers, protect our database to avoid these type of hacks that are going to keep coming. Making sure that if we are investing in software, we get software that is protected, encrypted to help minimize the attacks or the successful attacks from hackers. We make the investment into our team. Think about it like this, and I'm going to throw this out there. Let's say you invest $10,000 for your team to be trained. And let's say your average copy is $1,000, and I'm being low. Average copy $1,000. You got 10 sales reps. And based on this training, it'll help each one of those 10 sell one more unit. So a $10,000 investment will help your 10 sales reps close one extra deal at an average of $1,000 a copy. So guess what that is? That's $10,000 a month. At the end of that month, that's $120,000 a year. At the end of 5 years, what is that? $600,000 that you would have generated from a small $10,000 investment of quality training in your team that just helped them pick up just one extra deal at an average of $1,000 a copy. You tell me that that's not smart business. Now, what's ignorant business is investing $1,000 in your team to get better on some cheap type of training that doesn't help them close one extra deal. Matter of fact, they're losing an extra half of a deal. I'll be conservative. So that $1,000 investment actually is going to net you $300,000 in losses. You get what I'm saying? So I wanted to put it simply because I know people at that high level, they don't get off in all that emotional stuff, but dollars in a sense, it don't make dollars if it don't make sense. So help me help you. Shoot me a message. And listen, I respect every person. Every successful dealership I've ever dealt with is so because they have a leader who has an open mind and realizes, hey, listen, if we had everything right here to get where we wanted to go, we'd already be there. And sometimes we have to have the right people in the right seat on the bus. And that requires bringing in an outsider who can bring a different perspective, a different vision, a different observation on what's happening because they're not so entrenched. They're not so ingrained in it that they can't see outside of themselves. So help me help you. Shoot me a message or reach out to me, give me a call. You can reach me. I'll give you my business line, 904-438-8556. Other than that, protect yourself, protect your customers, protect your salespeople, and do whatever you can to make sure something like this doesn't shut you down or hurt you as bad as this one is. And guess what? These people are asking for $10 million a day. Oh, my God. And guess what? They are literally, if they haven't already, considering negotiating with the T word. And, you know, I'm not going to say that on the internet, but we don't negotiate with T words. So make sure that you protect yourself, protect your business, protect your customers. Other than that, I'm Brian Maxwell. Thanks for kicking and checking in with me. I look forward to seeing you at the dealership. Over and out.
Did you know, according to a recent Forbes article, 58% of customers will pay more for better customer service? As the automotive market gets more competitive, sales training is more important than ever. This is where Brian Maxwell comes in. For over a decade, Brian Maxwell provides sales training for some of the biggest dealer groups in the country, and for manufacturers such as Ford, Chevy, Toyota, and many others. Brian has also trained over 10,000 automotive sales associates worldwide. Brian Maxwell's value is in the fact that he provides real-world, simple-to-follow, and easy-to-apply sales training to your team. His training helps sales teams convert consistently with higher profit margins and how to leverage social media to generate qualified leads. He does this by applying all aspects of learning, utilizing classroom training, role-playing, and one-on-one evaluations. This allows your sales teams to hear, see, and apply selling methods that flat-out work. Knowing that results and profits are the only way to establish a long-term working relationship, Brian Maxwell's focus is results and profit-orientated. So, if you'd like to supercharge the customer experience, your sales team's production, and your bottom line, schedule a time for a consultation with Brian Maxwell today.